There is an oil that costs less than $3. You can find it in almost any health food store. It comes in a small amber bottle and most women walk right past it. But this oil contains a compound so powerful that dermatologists charge hundreds of dollars to prescribe the synthetic version of it. A compound that visibly reduces crow's feet around your eyes, that fades dark spots on your cheekbones and forehead, that softens the crepe paper texture forming on your neck and décolleté, that restores a firmness to your jawline you thought was gone forever. The Mapuche women of the Chilean Andes used this oil for centuries. They applied it to burns, to scars, to sun-damaged skin, and their skin healed. Not temporarily, not with constant reapplication, it healed. Then the modern beauty industry did the math. At the global skincare market generates over $160 billion a year. That revenue depends on one thing: your skin problems never being solved permanently. A $3 oil that actually repairs skin at the cellular level is not an innovation to this industry. It is a threat. They did not stop recommending it because it failed. They stopped talking about it because it worked too well. This is the story of Rosehip seed oil, the natural source of retinoid that an entire industry had to bury. If you are watching this channel for the first time, this is where hidden beauty science gets uncovered. Subscribe now because algorithms do not favor what the industry wants hidden. Every subscriber keeps this knowledge visible. Let me take you back. Not decades, centuries. The rosehip is the small, reddish fruit that remains on a wild rose bush after the petals fall. It is not glamorous. It does not look like a beauty product. But inside those tiny fruits are seeds, and inside those seeds is an oil that civilizations across the globe discovered independently, separated by thousands of miles and thousands of years. Start in the Chilean Andes. The Mapuche people, indigenous to the Araucanía region of southern Chile, used the oil of the Rosa mosqueta for generations. They pressed the seeds by hand and applied the oil directly to burned skin, to open wounds, to scarring. Their oral tradition records it as a sacred healing oil. This was not vanity, this was medicine, and it worked so reliably that it was passed from mother to daughter for centuries before any European ever set foot in South America. Now move to ancient Egypt. The Egyptians cultivated roses extensively. Rose oil was among the most valued substances in their pharmacology. Cleopatra's beauty rituals are well documented by Roman historians. Rose-derived oils and extracts were central to Egyptian skin preparation, used in embalming, in medicine, and in daily skincare by women of every class. They did not have a chemistry lab. They had observation across generations, and they observed that rose-based oils kept skin supple and resilient. Cross the world to Japan. For centuries, Japanese women used wild rose extracts in their skincare rituals. The concept of preserving skin through plant oils was embedded in Japanese beauty culture long before the word serum existed. The wild roses of Japan, closely related to the Rosa canina of Europe, were prized not for their flowers, but for their fruits. And for their seeds, for the oil inside. Then look at Europe itself. Rosa canina, the dog rose, grows wild across England, France, Germany, and the Mediterranean. In the Middle Ages, European herbalists catalogued rosehip preparations in their apothecary texts. They used them for skin inflammation, for wound healing, for restoring skin after illness. The wild rose was not exotic to them. It grew in their hedgerows, it grew along their stone walls, and they understood its value long before modern chemistry existed. During the Second World War, the British government organized mass collection of rose hips across the countryside. Why? Because they are one of the richest natural sources of vitamin C, and citrus imports from the Mediterranean had been cut off by naval blockades. The British Ministry of Health launched a national campaign. School children, volunteers, and entire village communities gathered rose hips by the ton to make syrup for children's nutrition. They understood the fruit, but the oil inside the seeds, the oil that the Mapuche had been using for centuries, remained largely overlooked by modern European science. Herbalists knew, grandmothers in rural Provence and Sardinia knew, but mainstream medicine was not listening to grandmothers. Here is what makes this powerful. These civilizations had no contact with each other. The Mapuche did not study Egyptian pharmacology. Japanese women did not read European herbal texts. Yet they all arrived at the same conclusion independently. That is not folklore. That is chemistry confirmed by observation across millennia. The formal scientific identification came later. In the 1980s, as researchers at the University of Concepcion in Chile began studying Rosa mosqueta oil systematically. What they found in those tiny seeds would eventually terrify the beauty industry. They identified a naturally occurring compound called trans-retinoic acid. You might know its synthetic version by another name, retinoin, the single most prescribed anti-aging compound in modern dermatology, and it was sitting inside a $3 bottle of cold-pressed seed oil. But the history is only half the story, because what modern science found inside those seeds is about to make the skincare industry very uncomfortable. Here is what modern science confirmed about what those ancient women already knew. In 1988, Chilean researchers Pareja and Kale published a landmark study. They applied rosehip seed oil to 180 patients over 2 years. These patients had surgical scars, traumatic scars, burn scars, and premature skin aging. The results were remarkable. Continuous use of rosehip oil visibly reduced scarring, slowed the progression of premature aging, and helped restore lost skin color and tone. But the mechanism is what matters. Let me explain what happens at the cellular level. Rosehip seed oil contains trans-retinoic acid, the naturally occurring form of retinoin. Retinoin is the gold standard of anti-aging dermatology. It is the most bioactive form of vitamin A. It communicates directly with your skin cells through retinoic acid receptors. When retinoin binds to these receptors, it accelerates cell turnover. Old, damaged surface cells are shed faster. New cells move to the surface sooner. The result is visibly smoother, firmer, more even-toned skin. But that is just one piece. Rosehip seed oil is composed of approximately 47% linoleic acid and 28% linolenic acid. These are essential fatty acids. Your skin cannot produce them on its own. Linoleic acid strengthens the ceramide barrier, the protective layer that keeps moisture in and irritants out. When that barrier weakens, you get dryness, redness, sensitivity, and accelerated aging. Linolenic acid reduces inflammation at the cellular level. It calms the chronic low-grade inflammation that drives visible skin aging, what researchers call inflammaging. The oil also contains beta-carotene and lycopene, 2 potent antioxidants that neutralize free radicals. The free radicals are unstable molecules created by UV exposure, pollution, and stress. They damage collagen and elastin fibers. Collagen gives your skin its firmness. Elastin gives it its bounce. When free radicals destroy these fibers, you get wrinkles, sagging, and that loss of definition along the jaw. Rosehip oil fights this on multiple fronts simultaneously. It delivers natural retinoid activity, it rebuilds the moisture barrier, it reduces inflammation, and it neutralizes the free radicals that are actively destroying your collagen. Now consider what this means for a woman over 45. During perimenopause and menopause, estrogen levels decline. Estrogen plays a critical role in maintaining collagen production and skin hydration. As estrogen drops, collagen synthesis slows. The skin thins. The moisture barrier weakens. Fine lines that were barely visible become pronounced. This is not just aging. This is a hormonal cascade that accelerates visible skin deterioration. Rosehip seed oil addresses this cascade at multiple points. The natural retinoin stimulates collagen synthesis even as your hormones are telling it to slow down. The linoleic acid rebuilds the compromised moisture barrier. The anti-inflammatory fatty acids calm the increased skin reactivity that so many women notice after 45. It is not fighting one problem. It is addressing the entire system. And here is the comparison that should make you furious. A prescription tube of synthetic retinoin costs between $50 and $200, requires a doctor's visit, and comes with a long list of side effects including peeling, redness, extreme sun sensitivity, and dryness. Eat a bottle of pure, cold-pressed organic rosehip seed oil costs between $8 and $15, lasts 2 to 3 months, and delivers retinoin in its natural form alongside all the essential fatty acids and antioxidants that support its function. The synthetic version gives you one isolated compound. Nature gives you the complete system. If you have made it this far, you already understand more about how your skin ages and repairs itself than 99% of women who spend thousands at the dermatologist. That knowledge is power. Subscribe and share this video with one woman who deserves to hear this. Now stay with me, because what comes next is the part they really do not want you to hear. The suppression of rosehip oil was not dramatic. There was no scandal, no whistleblower. It was systematic and quiet. Here is how it works. The global skincare industry is dominated by a handful of multinational corporations. L'Oreal alone had revenue of $47.5 billion in 2024. Estée Lauder, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, Beiersdorf. These 5 companies control the majority of what you see on every shelf in every store and every pharmacy in the Western world. Their entire revenue model depends on one principle. Your skin problem must be managed forever, never solved permanently. Think about it. Every serum on the shelf assumes you will need another bottle in 60 days. Every moisturizer is designed to address a symptom, not repair the underlying mechanism. Every dermatologist visit assumes you will return next quarter. Every cosmetic procedure assumes you will need maintenance treatments indefinitely. This is not healthcare. This is subscription revenue built on your skin. Now consider Rosehip seed oil. You cannot patent it. It is a naturally occurring compound extracted from the seeds of a wild plant that grows across South America, Europe, and Asia. No corporation can own it. No pharmaceutical company can trademark it. No one can create a monopoly on a fruit that grows on roadsides in Chile. And here is where it gets truly insulting. Go to any department store, walk to the skincare counter, pick up a luxury serum that promises to reduce wrinkles and improve skin tone. Read the ingredients. In many high-end serums and facial oils, you will find rosehip seed oil listed as a key ingredient. They take a compound that costs pennies per drop in its raw form. They add a proprietary name. They put it in an elegant glass bottle. They surround it with marketing language about cutting-edge formulation and revolutionary peptide complexes. And they charge you $80, $100, $150 for the privilege of buying a diluted version of something you could apply pure for a fraction of the cost. Let me give you a specific example. The Ordinary, a brand known for affordable formulations, sells pure organic cold-pressed rosehip seed oil for under $10 for 30 milliliters. That same 30 milliliters will last you about 2 months of nightly use. Now walk to the luxury counter. Brands like La Mer, Estée Lauder, and Chanel sell facial oils and serums containing rosehip seed oil as a listed active ingredient. These products routinely cost $100 to $300 for a similar volume. And the rosehip oil is diluted with other ingredients, many of which serve no function beyond making the texture feel luxurious. You are paying 10 to 30 times more for less of the active compound. That is not skincare science. That is marketing genius. And the markup is breathtaking. You have been paying luxury prices for a compound that Mapuche women extracted from wild rose bushes in the Andes with their bare hands. And no one in the beauty industry was ever going to tell you that. Because the moment you find out, you stop buying their products. Forever. Here is exactly what to do. And it is almost insultingly simple. Step 1. Go to any health food store, natural pharmacy, or reputable online retailer. Look for 100% pure, organic, cold-pressed rosehip seed oil. The key words are cold-pressed and unrefined. Cold pressing preserves the delicate tretinoin and the essential fatty acids. Refined oil has been processed with heat or solvents, which destroys many of the active compounds. A 1-ounce bottle of high-quality organic rosehip seed oil costs between $8 and $15. That bottle will last you 2 to 3 months with daily use. That is roughly 10 to 15 cents per day. Step 2. Cleanse your face as you normally would in the evening. Pat your skin dry, but leave it very slightly damp. This is important. The oil absorbs best into slightly damp skin because the water acts as a vehicle to carry the fatty acids deeper into the epidermis. Step 3. Place 3 to 4 drops of rosehip seed oil in the palm of your hand. Warm it by pressing your palms together for 5 seconds. Then press. Do not rub. Arch the oil into your skin using gentle upward motions. Start at your jawline and move upward toward your cheekbones. Then press gently across your forehead. Then down the sides of your nose. Then gently pat beneath your eyes using your ring finger only, because it applies the least pressure. Step 4. Apply 2 to 3 drops to your neck and décolleté using the same pressing motion. Always move upward, never drag downward. Step 5. Apply 1 drop to each hand and press into the skin on the back of your hands. This area ages rapidly and most women neglect it completely. Within minutes, you will notice your skin feels softer, not greasy. Rosehip seed oil is what formulators call a dry oil. It absorbs rapidly without leaving a heavy residue. By morning, your skin will look more hydrated, more rested. At that subtle glow you have not seen in years, it starts coming back. Within a week, your skin tone will begin to look more even. The redness fades slightly. The texture starts to smooth. Within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent nightly use, you should see a visible reduction in the depth of fine lines, improved texture, fading of mild hyperpigmentation, and a brightness that was not there before. The women I have worked with describe it the same way almost every time. They say their skin looks the way it did 5 years ago. Not dramatically different, not artificial, just quietly, steadily better. 1 bottle, 3 months, 15 cents a day. A dermatologist charges $200 to $500 for a single laser session that addresses the same concerns temporarily. you just did the biochemical equivalent for the cost of a cup of coffee per month. I need to be honest with you about something, because this oil is not magic. Rosehip seed oil will not erase deep wrinkles overnight. It will not replace a surgical facelift. It will not reverse 30 years of sun damage in 2 weeks. The retinoid content in the seed oil, while naturally present, exists at lower concentrations than prescription retinoid. This means the effects are real, but gentler and more gradual. That is actually an advantage because it means fewer side effects, but it also means patience. Expect 4 to 8 weeks of consistent use before significant visible changes. If you have a nut allergy, perform a patch test on the inside of your wrist 24 hours before applying to your face. Some people with highly sensitive skin may experience mild redness initially. If this persists beyond a few days, discontinue use. Rosehip seed oil oxidizes when exposed to heat and light. Store it in a cool, dark place or refrigerate it after opening. Use it within 6 months. If it develops a fishy or rancid smell, discard it immediately. Those are degraded fatty acids, and they will do more harm than good. And if you have active skin conditions like severe rosacea, active cystic acne, or are currently on prescription retinoids, speak to your doctor before adding any new oil to your routine. I tell you this because I respect you too much to lie, and this honesty is exactly what separates real science from marketing. Mapuche women in the Andes knew this. Egyptian women along the Nile knew this. Japanese women in their gardens knew this. Us European herbalists in their kitchens knew this. For centuries, across civilizations that never spoke to each other, women discovered that this small, humble fruit from a wild rose bush held something extraordinary inside its seeds. An oil that repairs. An oil that protects. An oil that restores what time and sun and stress have taken. Over $160 billion in annual skincare revenue depends on you never learning what you just learned in this video. An entire industry is built on the assumption that you will keep searching, keep spending, keep hoping that the next expensive serum will finally deliver what a $3 oil already does. Rosehip seed oil did not disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared from the conversation because it worked so well that an entire industry had to pretend it never existed. Subscribe to this channel. Share this video with every woman you know who has spent too much money on promises that dissolve in 60 days. Every share puts a crack in the wall they built around knowledge that was never theirs to hide. And in the next video, I am going to reveal a kitchen shelf compound that repairs collagen faster than any peptide serum on the market, and what I have found is going to make the anti-aging industry very, very nervous.